What is the weirdest fact you know? Switzerland does not have a single official head of state. It is a council of 7 people. If you looked at one star per second, it would take you over 3,000 years to look at all the stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Frogs swallow using their eyes. Roald Dahl's last words were "oh fuck." Manatees aren't fat. They're round. Many mammals develop a layer of fat or blubber to preserve body heat. Manatees are tropical mammals and do not need a lot of body fat. Ancient Greek Olympic runners, competing nude, would either wear a small cover over the tip of their penis or would tie their foreskin closed in order to avoid the embarrassment of accidentally exposing their glans head. KFC follows 11 people on Twitter, the 5 former Spice Girls and 6 guys named Herb. Gary Newman is 2 weeks older than Gary Oldman. Rosa Parks could have seen Shrek in theaters. When you get a kidney transplant, they leave the old ones in unless there's a reason to remove them, cancer, etc. I currently have 5. 2 original, 2 failed transplants, 1 functioning transplant. During mating, a male anglerfish will fuse with a larger female, allowing them to share not only sperm but also blood and skin. They become one amalgamated abomination that haunts the deep for the period of mating. Edit: it's a deep-sea anglerfish, not a hagfish. Different nightmare. Platypus glow when you hit them with UV light. Across Manhattan, between 13th and 41st, at approximately 60 underground, there's a massive 20-deep quartz layer with golden veins running through it. I know because I'm a geologist who does rock sampling. I know more if you guys are interested. Ask me anything and I'll try. In Germany, you can get sentenced to up to 10 years in prison for causing a nuclear explosion. Pandas poop, on average, 40 times a day, and about 62 pounds in weight due to bamboo diet. The flower yarrow has the Latin name Achillea. It's called that because it's supposed to be the herb that soldiers used to try and stop Achilles' heel from bleeding at the Battle of Troy in the Iliad. Spoiler: he died. That the French word for vagina is masculine. The word sheriff comes from the Old English shire reeve. Shire was a rural county, and a reeve was a tax collector whose duties gradually expanded to law enforcement. If you place hamster wheels in the forest, mice will run on them for fun. Booby trap backwards is partiboob. There were people still alive in the time of Columbus who remembered the last day of the Roman Empire when it fell to Mehmet II. I'll give 2. The Tale of Genji, usually considered to be the world's first novel, not to be confused with Don Quixote, the first modern novel, is over 1,000 years old. China is all under one time zone, officially Beijing time, to be specific, which means that all the way in the west of the country, the sun rises around 10 a.m. If you shave a tiger, it will still be stripy. And angry, very, very angry. Opal hides small sharks in the interior design of some of their cars. In most languages, people think of the future as in front of them and the past as behind them. So we think of ourselves as moving forward in time. It's such an ingrained metaphor that we don't even think about it. But there are a couple of outliers languages where the past is in front and the future is behind. In at least one of these languages, someone explained that the past is in front because you can see it. You know what was in your past, but the future is a mystery you can't see, just like you can't see what's behind you. Flamingos can drink boiling water. Hippopotamuses have incredibly strong bowel movements. When a hippo poops, it can come out reaching speeds of 30 miles per hour. These can experience time like we do. TLDR: scientists discovered this through witnessing them having jet lag. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage and Brussels sprouts are all the same plant cultivated for different characteristics. Sharks are older than trees. Male ostriches bred in captivity typically find humans more attractive than other ostriches, and try to seduce them. Ostriches also have bigger eyes than brains. Human skin can't actually feel wetness, we just make assumptions on pressure and temperature. Dragonflies are able to do complex geometry, and pound for pound are some of the most efficient hunters to have ever existed. People can smell rain 4x stronger than sharks can smell blood. Only humans and armadillos can catch the awful disease leprosy. The periphery of your vision is more sensitive to faint light than your focused center. You can see some faint stars in your peripheral, but not if you look at it directly. The largest man-made pyramid in the world is in Mexico. Opossums have 13 nipples. A ring of 12 with one in the center. They also eat ticks, and their low body temperature makes them resistant to rabies. Apparently, the way children start to hate their parents in puberty is an evolutionary way to prevent incest. Karl XII almost caused a political crisis with Russia when he, in the middle of an important diplomatic talk, suddenly disappeared one night without a trace. After several hours of frantic searching, raised voices, and accusations, a stable boy revealed what had happened. The king had simply decided that he didn't want to waste any more time with pointless discussions and gone back to Sweden without informing anyone. Do note that the main topic of discussion was the potential marriage between Karl XII and the Russian princess, so, ouch. Millions of horses died in World War I. This was due to the fact that automotive transportation wasn't all there yet, despite biplanes being used for bombing dart dropping for the first time. Pair this with the fact it was the first war with center-fire rifle cartridges, and it spelled devastation. Many cavalry units who were once the elites and best of the best in war were like, fuck it, we are the best, these center-fire rifles won't affect us. Boy, were they wrong. During the American Civil War, it was an unspoken rule to never shoot a man while he was taking a shit cause of how severe stomach viruses and diseases were during the time. IDK about you guys, but if it were me, I'd be shitting at every battlefield in whatever theater I was in, lol. Kim Jong-un's father Kim Jong-il kidnapped a South Korean director and his actress wife and made them make films for him. Most popular being Pulgasari, a Godzilla knockoff. Glossy magazine paper has a higher B vitamin content than newsprint. Elephants can't jump. They're the only mammal that can't. They're also the only one with 4 knees. The actor who played the dad from Alf enjoyed smoking crack and having sex with homeless men. Marco Polo saw an unicorn while at Kublai Khan's court. Researcher would later figure out that he probably saw an rhinoceros. Freddie Mercury had 4 extra incisors. He attributed his vocal range to that difference. In the early 1700s, a common form of American torture was to tie someone up so that they were face down as up, cut of their genitals, toss them in the fire, then shove them into their mouth, burning. 100 recommend the British Museum of Torture. Betelgeuse is so massive it would contain the Sun, and the orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and Jupiter. It also takes about 30 years to make one revolution. I.e., one day is 30 Earth years. The style of music in the Mos Eisley Cantina in Star Wars is known in universe as jizz. Now the word of origin for jizz comes from the real-life word jazz, the style of music that became big in the 1920s. But the word jazz comes from the word jasm, which has historically been used to mean vibrant, full of energy and all life. It's for this reason that jasm has also been used to mean semen. In other words, the root word for jizz is jazz, and the root word for jazz is jizz. It's a circle of nasty, which makes me want to hear the lyrics to that in the style of Circle of Life from The Lion King. The McDonald's Big Mac has the same amount of calories as the average horse ejaculation when swallowed, smiling.